Basically, in today's video, we read creepy Furby stories off Reddit. All of these posts are from 9-year-old askreddit, so that's why it says 9 years ago in every single one of these. Anyway, hope you enjoyed the video. I didn't since I can't read. They don't sleep. Never. Mine was only active at night. Hello, Utai, big light. Furby, shut the fuck up. Sun up. I have been waiting my whole life for this. In elementary school, I was invited to a sleepover at my friend Sally's for her birthday. There were quite a few girls going. We told everyone was going to sleep in the family room, and somehow I scored the couch. Now Sally loved Furbies, and above the couch there is a shelf dedicated to them. There were a shit ton of Furbies in different shapes, sizes, and colors on that shelf. So the party is okay, everyone gets ready for bed, I get comfortable on the couch. Fast forward a few hours, everyone is dead asleep, I myself am in a nice deep sleep. When suddenly the shelf breaks, the wooden part falling behind the couch, while the Furbies rain down on my sleeping form. Activated by whatever the fuck activated Furbies, movement or sound or whatever, they come alive. I am awoken by a horde of Furbies all over me, talking and moving and looking at me. I eventually recovered from that night, but I had nightmares for years after. My brother had a Furby and got bored with it, so he decided to skin it. I woke up one morning to a hollow Furby pelt. It maintained the same shape, sitting on my chest. Its hollow eye holes were particularly terrifying. Apparently, if you drop a Furby from a high enough point, it makes a terrifying screeching sound until you reset the thing. I did not know this before. I accidentally pushed it off my bed. The thing started, what the 8-year-old thought, screaming out in pain. So I started screaming and crying and thinking I killed it. When I was younger, my family moved to NH because of my dad's job, so almost every weekend we would visit our house in New York. On one of the 3.5-hour car rides, I brought along one of those baby Furbies to entertain me. Out of nowhere, the Furby started freaking the fuck out and was making strange noises and really loud, high-pitched chants. The bottom where the batteries were was overheating to the point where it was almost too hot to touch, so I started scrambling around the car for a screwdriver to remove the batteries. We couldn't find one, and the thing kept getting hotter, so I think we threw the thing out of the window. You know when we put something in a mouth/beak and it say Furbilicious or something? Well, one of the batteries died during this, so you got the whole do pitching and slowing down effect. Went from the normal Furba to lower in the sulfur hexafluoride speechlicious. It was not fun to witness. Furbilicious! Nothing terrifying, but my sister and I held our Furby up to a picture of 3 tiger cubs to show it to him. Yeah, I didn't know we were kids. He promptly said with excitement, "Kitty!" We could never get him to replicate the experience or even to say that word after that. Had 2 Furbies. They were buried in the bottom of the toy box, sleeping in the dead of night. Years after we got them, I hear a deep, slow voice groaning, "Feed me." Oh, hell no! I screamed, ran to my parents' room, woke them both up, had them come to my room to get the monster away. They go digging around the room when we hear it again. "Feed me," it said, more screaming and crying. Finally, my dad pulls out its half-dead Furby from inside the toy box and goes to smash it with a hammer in the garage. I was devoted to my Furby, but eventually it ran out of batteries and was reduced to a paperweight. Then one night I accidentally pushed it off my desk and went boo, and its eyes rolled down into his face so that wires were visible. There were no batteries inside it. I just made up some bullshit to myself while left over charge and put it away. I woke up to one fingering my ass. Edit. Oh, you said Furby, not furry. Oh man, all dusty memories. Video at the end of the post. Found it. Okay, I couldn't reach the video because I don't have Messenger and it was on Messenger, so I'm like... In high school, I somehow got a stack of Furbies for free. We had like 4 or 5. They got divided up between my friends, who were 3, and I chose to set mine on fire. This doesn't sound that interesting, but it was really fucking disturbing. At first it wasn't that weird, but then it got really creepy. I kept sticking my finger in its mouth, so it would go yum and such, and then eventually just letting it burn. Then it started thrashing around, making pretty disturbing noises, which you can't hear that well in the video, as if it was in pain. It thrashed and thrashed until I finally gave up. I thought about that little Furby rocking back and forth, going, "Oh god, I'm on fire, what the fuck, make it stop," for quite a while, and many jokes were made. Here's the video that I cannot reach. Warning, stupid drunk high schoolers. This was actually shot in 2007 or so, but I didn't find the file until 9. This was so horrifying for me, but for my grandmother. I was born in Romania. Hey, Romanian, salut, salut. I was born in Romania, but grew up in Philadelphia. My family and I went back to visit 1 year, and I brought my Furby along. Now, being from a very small Romanian village, my grandmother had no exposure to creepy talking toys like Furbies and didn't know anything like that. So, we were at my grandmother's home, and I unpacked my belongings and placed my Furby on an end table in bed. Later on that day, my grandmother goes into the bathroom to put some towels and linens for us, and we hear her screaming pure terror. Every one of us, she runs and finds her terrified because the Furby had woken up and spoke to her. She had no idea it was a toy. She was utterly terrified and confused. My dad calmed her down and explained what it was. My dad then removed the batteries and put the Furby back in the suitcase and told me I couldn't take it out of the suitcase until we got back to Philadelphia. My grandma bought 2 of these monsters, one for me and one for my sister. I did not want one. One day, my sister found mine. I hid it in the closet and put it outside my bedroom door to scare me. I opened the door, it did creepy noises, arm things and eye things, and I freaked out and kicked it. It flew down the stairs, hitting several steps and bouncing down. It stopped a couple of feet from the stairs and began flatlining and making horrible noise and just generally flipping the fuck out. After an initial freak out about it going crazy, we felt both victorious. We killed it.
朋友是一个坚韧不拔的纪录片，在香港这座城市。
I dropped mine, and now instead of saying cock-a-doodle-doo when it wakes up, it just says cock over and over again in a very happy manner. Years back, a friend gave me a Yoda Furby toy thing. It was horrifying. It did all the normal Furby stuff, but with the addition of Yoda speak. Like everyone else, I moved it to the top of the shelf of my closet. The noises that came out of the thing as the batteries died are what nightmares are made of. Horror girling food I want. Oh boy. So my sister used to collect all these Furbies. Hundreds. It was weird, but that's just her. One day she buys one on eBay. We thought it was a joke. It said haunted Furby. It was cheap enough, so she went for it. Huge mistake. Strange things started happening after she got it. She kept really good track of all of them somehow. She started noticing some coming up missing. At first she blamed me, but after searching my room, she begrudgingly dropped it. For a couple of weeks, Furbies would come up missing with other trees. My sister had become depressed at the loss. One night I woke up. It was pitch black. I could hear something small moving in the highway. I gave a disgusted groan at the thought of rats. I got out of my bed and grabbed my hockey stick. I felt my way to the door as I just pulled it open and heard doo-dee-doo-yee. Still pitch black, I could only see 2 robotic eyes at the end of the floor. I yelled in shock and gave a relieved laugh when I realized it was just a Furby. Forgetting my dog had been playing with it and thinking that I figured out the case of the missing Furbies, I grabbed the toy and shuffled to my sister's room to return the furry toy. I opened my sister's door, leaving the light off as to not wake her. Trying to not trip over anything, I slowly made my way to the Furby shelf. I had just set it down and was making my way out of the room when I stepped on something hard. Biting my lip to keep from crying in pain, I looked down to see what I stepped on. I couldn't make it out in the poor light. I bent over and picked it up. It was a Furby head. Looking at the floor for a little longer, I discovered that the floor was littered with pieces of Furbies everywhere. That's when I heard my sister's muffled cries. I looked at her to only see that she was tied up and gagged, with a terrified look behind me. Oh yeah, was all I heard from behind me. I, of course, said fuck this, ran to my mom's car, drove to the airport, then flew to Mexico, where any Furbies that's found is admitted, sold, and sent back to America. Now, I don't think this is true, mister. I don't think that happened.
朋友是一个坚韧不拔的纪录片，在香港这座城市的摄制。主演前
This clearly didn't actually happen, but as my 8-year-old mind perceived it at the time, I had taken the batteries out of both Furbies because they were sick and would sneeze and ask for attention all night. I recall them working even after the batteries were out. It got to the point where I threw one at my bedroom wall because I couldn't get it to stop and it was creeping me out. When I think about it now, I just feel bad for breaking a toy my parents had bought for me. Well, yeah, but it was demon. It was 2002 or somewhere around the time. Furbies were just starting to gain popularity and we were on holiday in Turkey. We saw them. My 12-year-old self and my 8-year-old sister had to have one. I settled for a green one and my sister went for a black and white one. We played quite happily with them for a day or two, poking its belly, sticking our fingers in their mouth, all that jazz. There was that one night, it was stormy as hell outside, our parents were at the hotel bar downstairs, me and my sister were in our room, trying to sleep on the sofas, Furbies on the tables, opposite us. The lightning cracked outside, giving the room that lightning you see in horror movies. You know, with the cracked shutters? They were there, staring at us, eyes wider than fucking dinner plates. These things close their eyes when they sleep, but there they were, staring at us. My sister was on the other sofa, and hers was doing the same. I heard her start to wail. Feed me. I don't think I ever punched a toy so hard in my life. Sister, not heard a peep from the thing. It's hiding in the attic, somewhere. Not sure where. I'm always careful when I go up there, though. Demonic little bastards. When I was younger, my family moved to NH because of our dad's job. When I was younger, my family moved to NH because of our dad's job. When I was younger, my family moved to NH because of my dad's job. When I was younger, my family moved to NH because of our When I was younger, my family moved to NH because of my dad's job. When I was younger, my family moved to NH because of my dad's job, so almost every weekend we would visit. When I was younger, my family moved to NH because of...
Have you ever had a dream that you had you